Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Rini and I post DIY home decor and craft videos. I made quite a lot of projects with air dry clay before, but recently I got my hands on Terracotta Air Dry clay and I thought of making some decor pieces with it. Before we get started, please consider subscribing if you haven't already and click the bell icon to get notified every single time I post a new video on my channel. So let's jump right into it. For all the DIYs today, I'm going to use this Crayola air dry clay. The first DIY is a wall hanging. For that, I'm taking a chunk of clay and warming it up in my hands. After kneading it, I'm going to flatten it with a rolling pin. I'm going to keep rolling it evenly until it becomes a 1/4 inch thick. Then I'm placing a bowl on it and cutting out a circle with a precision knife. I'm cleaning up the edges like so and smoothing it down with my fingers after dipping them in water. Then taking a pointy clay modeling tool, I'm imprinting an eye on it. I'm starting by drawing an almond shape. Then I'm drawing some lashes and eyeball. I'm adding 2 holes at the top and bottom and we want to make it large enough for a twine to pass through. Using a wet brush, I'm smoothing down all the crevices. Now I'm rolling out another large piece of clay. Taking a pointy tool, I'm drawing a freehand outline of a semicircle. Using a precision knife, I'm cutting the shape out. After smoothing down the edges, I'm taking the pointy tool again and drawing 3 equally spaced out arches. Then I'm making a hole at the top and 3 holes at the bottom of the semicircle. Again, I'm rolling out another chunk of clay and using a ruler as a guide, I'm cutting out a rectangle shape. I'm drawing a vertical line dividing the rectangle into 2 equal segments and then I'm drawing inverted V's like so to make a chevron pattern. Then I'm adding 2 holes at the top and bottom. I made 3 of these rectangles in total and we're going to let these dry for about 48 hours. Now that these are fully dry, I'm taking some watered down brown acrylic paint and painting on all the engravings with a small brush. This is going to make the imprint stand out even more. If the paint gets to the areas where we don't want, we can take a brush dipped in clean water and wipe it down. Now we are going to use a wooden ring, a bead, and some cotton twine. I'm cutting a piece of twine folded in half and sending the loop through the wooden ring. Holding both the ends of the twine, I'm bringing them over the ring through the loop and pulling it to make a lark's head knot. I taped the ends of the twine. Now I'm stringing the bead and pushing it all the way up. Then I'm tying a knot right below the bead to hold it in place. After figuring the length of the twine I want to go for, I'm tying another knot. Then I'm pulling one end of the twine through the top hole and tying a double knot at the back of the piece. I'm taking another piece of cotton twine and tying the circle and the rainbow shape together like so. I'm doing a couple of knots to make sure it's extra secure. Then I'm tying the 3 rectangle pieces to the semicircle. I want to add some tassels to the piece, so for that I'm using my fingers as a template and wrapping the cotton twine for about 25 times. I'm cutting a piece of twine and slipping it under the loops. Then I'm tying a double knot at the top. After taping the ends, I'm stringing a bead and tying a knot right above it. Now I'm going to cut the loops and trim the ends to level them. Then I'm going to tie the tassel to the rectangle piece. I made 2 more tassels for the remaining 2 rectangles. I'm applying a dab of hot glue on the knots to secure them. This finishes off our terracotta wall hanging. Next, we're going to make a tea light holder, so for that I'm taking a generous amount of clay and molding it into a sausage shape. I'm flattening it with a rolling pin and then using a round cookie cutter, I'm cutting out a circle. This is going to be the base of the tea light holder. The previous piece was not wide enough, so I rolled out another piece of clay. We want to make sure it's about 0.5 cm thick and 5 to 6 cm wide. We also want to roll out the clay as evenly as we can. Using my ruler and precision knife, I'm cutting out a rectangle. Before I cut the other end of the rectangle, I'm wrapping it around the circular base to estimate the required length. I'm using the small flower-shaped cookie cutter and placing it at the center of the rectangle. I'm pressing it down to make a flower-shaped cutout on the clay. Now I'm going to score the edges of the circle with a knife. This will help the clay stick better. I'm turning over the rectangle piece and scoring along the bottom side. Now I'm wrapping it around the circular base. I noticed it was a little bit extra, so I trimmed one of the edges. I'm going to score both the ends and seal them together. I'm going to continue maneuvering it until I'm happy with the way it looks. With the help of some water, I'm going to smooth everything down. I'm also using a wet brush to smooth it down more, and I'm going to let it dry for around 48 hours. Once it is dry, I'm going to use this gold acrylic paint and paint the edges of the flower cutout. This is going to add a nice finishing touch to the piece. For the last DIY, we're going to make a face jewelry dish, and for that I'm taking a handful of terracotta clay and flattening it with my rolling pin. I'm rolling it evenly until it reaches around 1/4 inch thickness. Now I'm going to draw a face shape with this pointy tool. Then I'm cutting the shape out with my X-Acto knife. I'm taking some more clay and rolling it into a large noodle shape. We want this to go all the way around, so I'm going to stretch it out more. Next, I'm scoring the edges of the shape with a knife. Then I'm going to attach the border all the way around. I'm removing the extra end and mending it with the help of some water. I'm going to continue adding more water and smoothing everything down with my fingers. We also want to make sure the border is raised compared to the rest of the face. Then I'm rolling a small amount of clay into a thin noodle shape. I'm making the end slightly tapered. Then I'm going to place it like so to make an abstract eyebrow and a nose. I'm tearing the excess and tapering the end. On the other side, I'm making an arch to make it look like a closed eye. Then I'm going to add some lashes to it. We want to add water to the surface to make it tacky. This will help the pieces stick better. Finally, I'm going to make the lips. I'm smoothing it down with a wet brush, and I'm going to let it dry for a day or two. Now that it's fully dry, I'm taking a sanding sponge and gently smoothing the edges a little bit. I'm going to water down brown acrylic paint to make it a bit more runny. Then using an old toothbrush, I'm flicking the paint to add more texture to the piece. This completes our abstract face jewelry dish. That's all for today, and I really hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below which DIY was your favorite. You can also follow me on Instagram at DustyHills. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.